Well, hello and welcome to Maxspeedtv. Thank you very much for joining us here at Talladega as the OP Racing Superspeedway Series will rip around this speedway for 94 laps. Tonight's broadcast is being brought to you by Walls Beard Co. and Beard Balm. Check out wallsbeardco.com. Colby's Eye Paints. You can find Colby on facebook.com/Colby's Eye Paints. Does a really great job at replica paints of real life cars and even original custom designs. So hit up Colby's Eye Paints. The Ohio IndyCar League. They're an IndyCar league out of Ohio, but you don't have to be. Check out the Ohio IndyCar League if you're trying to get into some IndyCar action. Those guys broadcasted right here on Maxspeedtv. SimSpeedShop.com. If you are in need of a button box or even have an idea and want a custom button box, check out SimSpeedShop.com. iBog.co is MaxSpeedTV's official graphics supplier and overlay. Make sure you check out iBog.co if you have a Twitch stream or a broadcast. And the Hershey Design Company, your one-stop graphics shop. If you are in need of a paint or a team logo or even a business logo, check out the Hershey Design Company. That's HERSHY. So now that that's out of the way, I'd love to introduce Mr. Shawn Cool, who's on the mic with me tonight. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. We're here at Talladega. We're ready to watch some cars rip around this place, and can't be any better.
Can't be any better. As we are here at Talladega, like you said, speaking of being here at Talladega, what is some of the stuff we're going to see tonight?
Well, this place is wide. We are going to see guys running definitely 2x2x2 throughout the course of this race. I wouldn't be surprised to see some guys get comfortable as we get going here and get 3 wide. May even see some guys force it 4 wide. I'm telling you, this track is wide, and it could happen. We're probably going to see a few wrecks. These guys do have a couple fast repairs, so they may be ready to dice it early. But this is going to be wild. We're going to hopefully see some pit strategy and some guys coming who can get on pit road and get off pit road if they can get the green flag stop. This is going to be a wild race.
It sounds like it's going to be a wild race. And, one of the things about Talladega and how wild it is, you mentioned being a 4 wide. With as wide as it is, it really builds some confidence in the drivers and really lets them think they can do things that maybe they shouldn't. But overall, it's still going to be a great race to watch tonight.
Yeah, and as a driver, when the track is as wide, I mean, you can go 3 wide at places like Daytona too, but it's a lot tighter. At a track like Talladega, you've got some room to work with. These guys are going to have to be battling cars that are going to be getting hot on them as they're pushing the cars in front of them. And getting overheated with the temperatures. So battling the temperatures, keeping the water temp cool, the oil temp cool, so they don't blow motors up tonight. With the track being as wide as it is, you can kind of utilize a little bit more of that space, kind of grab a little air off outside the guy in front of you. You can kind of maneuver around, even with cars on the side of you, just a little bit more, so it makes it a little bit easier for these guys to be able to go out there and put on a show.
All right, man. Well, speaking of the show must go on. And so we're going to step away, play the Star Spangled Banner, and then we'll be right back after this.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Where qualifying is just now getting underway, and we are watching the 3-car of Robert Payne running that Buddy Check 22 paint scheme with a very beautiful red, white, and blue down the sides. What do you think of that car, Shawn?
That car doesn't get any more patriotic than that. I have to say I'm a big fan of that one.
Robert Payne in the 3. He is running that high side, getting that car up to speed, doing all he can to burn off as much fuel, get the tires as warm as possible. And then as soon as he gets on the clock, probably for his second lap, we'll see him drop down below these white lines right along the yellow line. And that's how he's going to make a whole lot of time here on the speedway.
That is right. The idea is to try and build as much speed as you possibly can before you get to your fast lap, your second lap here, or some people call it your green flag lap, and then try not to scrub as much speed as physically possible all the way around on your last lap around for your qualifying attempt.
Right now we're watching Derek Conley. Conley has 2 race wins this season. He also picked up the All-Star race last week that was at Monza. If you guys weren't here for that one, that was a wild show.
Currently I'm watching Mr. Jacob Sayers, who looks like he has started his fast lap. He's down along the yellow line here as he heads down into turn 1. Currently on his warm-up, he's second on the charts, but that'll change very rapidly here as more cars start crossing the stripe and we start finishing these quick laps.
Scott Bellum in the 07 machine, running a plain white car, looking for some assistance financially. Check that guy out if you want to get your name on his car, or just show him how to use a paintbrush. But right now he's in first place with a 53.987. So we'll see how his next lap turns out.
Another guy I'm wondering kind of what he's waiting on. It looks like Glenn Bundren sitting on pit road. Aside from him, there's also Douglas Rice, who's coming across from the 35. He looks like he's about to start his fast lap.
And Scott going across the line, he is going to jump into 5th spot as Lucas Cram jumps up to the top. Cram in that 44 machine having a quick time of a 53.507. Cody Ober in the 8, he is currently in 2nd place. And 3rd place right now is the 3 of Robert Payne.
4th place, we're looking at Ernie Williams Jr. He's come out and run a 53.546. And in 5th place, running out the current top 5 is Kelly Milam in the 46.
Kelly in that 46, shutting that car down. He is currently in 5th place, like you said. Jordan Wright, right now he is 26th. Lynn McNeese in the 84 machine, he's shutting that down. He is 7th. John Larson in the 24, he is right now in 8th place as you see him getting onto pit road. And now Travis Elliott here, he comes down the front stretch going through the tri-oval here, hugging that inside line. He's currently scored in 17th, dropping down below the yellow a little bit there and across the line. Gonna see where he ends up. He will jump up into 12th place with his fast lap.
Coming across the line as we speak is the number 7 of Joshua Milam. He is going to run a 53.598. That puts him at 12th on the board.
Josh Milam, our points leader as well in that 7 machine. So very good season going for him. Trying to add a pole position to the race tonight, but unfortunately 12th place is where he's at right now. Now watching the 29 of Aspen Belvin, that black with some red lettering, white on the numbers. That car looks pretty mean to me.
Yeah, he's looking like he's starting his warm-up lap. He's going to have to get after it and get around this place, as there's not too much time left to go for qualifying. He's right up against the safety barrier there, almost in the fence. That's really kind of what you got to do, though. The higher you can go and as smooth as you can be, the more speed you're going to get as you get to your fast lap. I just hope that he can make it, you know, to his fast, to take the green here and get around the other way, all the way around to the other side before qualifying runs out.
I think he's got plenty of time, just over 4 minutes left in qualifying here. And another car that we've seen turn a lap time here is Glenn Bundren in the 37 machine. Right now he is currently 20th, so he's working on his fast lap as he is hugging that yellow line for right now. Glenn did pick up a race win this season, but it was ruled an encumbered win, so will not count for any post-race activities or post-regular season activities. So he's still looking for a win to get himself into the chase.
Here he comes, though, coming to the stripe. And he'll move himself to 18th with a 53.988. Sorry.
So the 37 machine into 18th. The 29 of Aspen still out there. He is in 20th, but he is on his fast lap. We'll see what kind of time he can turn here.
We'll see what that Ford Performance Mustang's got.
Yeah, Lucas Cram is on pole with a 53.507. So we are going to see how this plays out for Aspen in the 29 as he comes through the tri-oval here. And across the line he goes, and his score will be a 53.611, jumping up to 15th place.
Yeah, so Lucas Cram is looking like he's going to be the man on top of the boards currently, as the last person to finish qualifying so far is Aspen Belvin. There is nobody currently on the racetrack qualifying, so far Lucas Cram has got this one in the bag.
That car looking very fast here tonight. Great qualifying time, and Cram is very good at running up front. Constantly we see him up there. He's been caught up in a few accidents here in the last few races that really kind of, you know, slowed him up, caused him some damage, and he's had to work through that and essentially come from behind in those situations. But quite a fast driver here. We'll see what he can do with a pole position.
Yeah, and honestly, that's not an easy thing to do, to consistently run up front and consistently run, you know, in the higher portion of these packs and these super speedway races. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do, so that just shows the skill that Lucas has and the ability he has to get around these places quick as he puts it on the pole currently so far in qualifying.
All right, guys, we're going to step away for just a moment, and we will be right back after this. Welcome back, guys. As the field has started to take to the grid while we're away, no one else turned a qualifying lap, so now it'd be a great time to go through our starting lineup, brought to you by Walls Beard Co. Row number 1 will be Lucas Cram and Cody Ober. Row 2 is going to be Robert Payne and Ernie Williams. Row 3 will be Kelly Milam and Jordan Wright in the 26. Row 4 will be Lynn McNeese and John Larson. Row 5, Derek Conley and Greg Adams. Row 6 will be Alex Green in the 15 machine and Josh Milam in the 7. Row 7 will be the 51 of Travis Elliott and the 17 of Tristan Walker. Row 8 will be the 29 of Aspen Belbin and the 07 of Scott Bellum. Row 9 will be the 39 of Jacob Sayers and Brandon Beckrow. And row 10 will be Glenn Bundren and Josh Durham. Shawn, you want to take us through the rest here of row 11 and on?
Sure. So row 11 we start off with the number 35 of Douglas Rice. On the outside of him will be the number 93 of Isaiah Dupree. Row 12 is the number 11 of R. Chase Berry. And on his outside, Mark A. Vega in that 68 machine. Row 13 is the 42 of David Wright. To his outside, the 14 of Cody Eldred in that black and fluorescent yellow machine. Steve Thomas is in the 33, and outside of him is the 62 of Les Levy. That rounds out our 28 car field.
It's quite a full field here, 28 cars. Cody Ober in the 8 machine with his teammate Robert Payne starting on the inside of row number 2. So we'll see if those two are going to be able to hook up. You see Cody Ober, Robert Payne, Izzy D, as we like to call him, but Isaiah Dupree and Alex Green in the 15. Those guys are all teammates. We'll see if they can get hooked up together. But the other teams that we can try and keep an eye on is Derek Conley, Josh Milam, and Kelly Milam. They are part of Fuel Motorsports. So we'll see if those guys can get up there as well. So it's going to be an interesting race here tonight.
This is going to be a showdown of the greats tonight. This is going to be quite the adrenaline rush here at Talladega. 200 miles an hour, inches apart. What more can you ask for?
Not a whole lot. Pace car peeling off. And the field staying very patiently right here behind our pole sitter Lucas Cram. Looks like he is waiting for the flagman to give him the green light. Quite the wait. A lot of butterflies. Here we go. Green flag is out for our first lap of 94 total distance here. The field buries off into turn number 1.
Now the inside line looks like it's going to have a little advantage as these guys are trying to get up to full song, but if the outside line can get organized here and get going, we're going to probably see that start to prevail. Here comes the 26 up the outside. He's going to be the second car in the outside row and look to help the number 8 here.
We got one car in the third lane all by themselves, but the 26 of Jordan
to
Wright,
the outside.
He's going to jump up to the high side, but he doesn't have any help, and he's starting to lose some steam.
I told you, KI, these guys would be comfortable jumping 3 wide early.
That they have. It looks like Jordan Wright, though, in that 26, starting to fall back some. He's going to have to try and find a hole or convince other people that they need to get up there and join him because he is losing ground quickly.
Yeah, these guys on the outside line are really getting organized. Cody Over in the 8 cars looking to kind of nose out in the lead here as they go into the corner. That'll give the advantage a little bit to the 44 as they come out of 2. But that run that they get as they come out of the corners here, this outside line should power down through the backstretch here and have a bit of an advantage going into 3.
Down the backstretch they come. The 8 getting a good, healthy shove from the 24, John Larson. Now he's going to dive down in front of the 44 Lucas Graham. So Oberg taking the lead and slicing right down to the inside line as soon as he was clear.
Yeah, there's a good push coming from the 12 to the 24. The 24 is going to push out in the lead here. He might lead this lap. Now the real question is, if he can get clear, will he cut down in front, or will he keep pulling that train on the outside?
We go on board with the 12 of Greg Adams. You see him riding right behind the 24 machine of John Larson. Using the draft here, you don't want to push too hard in the corners, if at all. But now, down the backstretch, you see he's going to get right up on his back bumper.
Yeah, the trick is to really push as much as you can, sort of down the straightaways. You kind of want to leave a little part of your nose out to try and collect some air. You want to back off in the corners just a hair, try and get you some air to that nose while you really shouldn't push somebody. You know, it's really hard to push somebody in the corner and not knock them sideways. And then get right back, time it, get right back up on them on the straightaway, and that would be a good lap around Talladega.
Speaking of good laps so far, we have had 3 laps without a caution. Sometimes that is an accomplishment in itself, but here tonight, these guys getting after it. No cautions yet. We are on lap 4 now. Stage 1 will end on lap 20, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And the 8 still out front with some help from the 44 of Lucas Cram.
Some of these guys, some of these teammates are starting to get close to each other. They may get lined up, and we'll see what kind of skill that they can perform, the performance they can put on, the skill that they can portray to the rest of us here. You can see the 3's looking like he's going to get up to the back bumper of the 8. And the idea here is, when you get teammates, if they really can work together well, you really can manage the temperatures really well. You can really manage when you give somebody a shot, and you can really keep yourself out front if you know what you're doing.
Now we see the 44 of Cram dropping down in front of the 8 of Cody. Oh, no, we got one turn in the back.
The yellow flag is out.
Cars are scattering everywhere.
Yeah, KR, a hard hit was taken by the 46. The 7 was turned down low. This is going to be a wild one to watch back.
We're going to go to our MaxSpeedtv replay. Figure out what happened here. We go on board with Les Levy as Les is running a Tom Sneva throwback paint scheme when Sneva ran a NASCAR Cup car. It's quite the interesting paint scheme there. And there we see the 7 getting turned up ahead, and everyone getting slowed down as much as they can. Some drivers getting caught up into it. Others, like Les here, just full on getting on the brakes and picking his way through very, very carefully.
Boy, did Kelly Milam take a rough hit and a rough ride on that one. Ended up on his lid. Just a rough ride. He hit the outside wall hard.
Watching the 46 of Kelly Milam going into turn 1. See the 14 hooks the 7, which causes the 46 to get hooked as well when the 7 turn around. And Milam in that 46 machine flipping, rolling, smoke pouring out of it. You see the 93 of Isaiah Dupree also getting a piece of this action.
KR, we even lost the pit exit merge cone in that one.
Man, oh man, that was an intense situation right there. Losing that pit cone.
These guys got 2 fast repairs, and a lot of them are going to come down pit road, get their cars fixed up, and they'll still have another shot to get out there and try and win this thing.
All right, guys. Well, several cars have made pit stops. We're going to try and bring this to you. Now, it looks like a lot of our leaders have hit pit road as well. Now, one of the things we didn't get to talk about before, but our race analysis here, we're doing 94 laps for 250 miles. Tire window, well, these tires can last as long as they need them to, pretty much. Our fuel window is anywhere from 15 to 17 laps, so everyone coming in for fuel now can make it to the end of the stage without having to make a pit stop. So a little bit of strategy here playing out as Lucas Graham in the 44 has stayed out, but Cody Ober in the 8, he's going to be the first one off pit road.
Yeah, I'm interested in Lucas Graham. He's staying out, trying to keep his track position, trying to stay ahead of some of these wrecks. I just wonder what if he expects there to be another yellow, that maybe he'd come down and get fuel, you know, and the rest of everybody would come down and top off. But just really interesting how the strategy differs and how these guys really, you know, try and figure out different ways to get to the end of this race and to get some stage points and everything throughout the course of even a super speedway race.
Gonna be an interesting race throughout tonight. Man, I need another word besides interesting. What you got one of them Tyrannosauruses around?
I don't have any Tyrannosauruses around. I can promise you that one.
Oh.
I will say this is going to be extremely intriguing as this race continues.
Huh. I see what you did there.
How's that one for you?
Well, I'll tell you guys, we got some great action coming up here, but we got to get through this caution first. And you know what? We're going to step away for just a moment, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the lights have just gone out on the pace car. I want to remind everyone that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Walls Beard Co., Colby's Eye Paints, iBog, SimSpeedShop.com, the Ohio IndyCar League, and the Hershey Design Company. You can find these guys and their links down below in the description of this broadcast. While you're checking out those links, give this broadcast a thumbs up. If you feel it necessary, give it a thumbs down. But hey, tell us what we did wrong. We might not be your favorite broadcaster. You might just not be our favorite fan. What do you think about that, Shawn?
Well, you know, everybody's got to have their own opinion, right?
That's right. I'll tell you, you're not my favorite co-commentator because you actually make me look bad.
That's not true.
Well, fine. It's whatever. Alright, so pace car is out. We are working our first caution of the night. Or second caution, I believe. I'm sorry. What number is this? Oh, it's number 1.
This is number 1. We're only 10 laps in. Well, about to be.
I have my shoes on. I can't count with my shoes on.
Well, I mean, we're getting there. You're gonna run out of fingers.
Oh, you're supposed to count with your fingers?
Well, for the initial laps, you know, we're hitting lap 10 and you run out of fingers.
All right, I'm gonna go back to grade school and learn how to count because I've been using my knees this whole time.
Well, that only gives you 2 digits, or 1 if you're really unlucky.
Alrighty, man. Well, pace car getting ready to peel off, and there it goes. Lucas Cram once again going to be out front for this restart. Shawn, why don't you take it away?
That's right. Lucas Cram stayed out. He's going to be controlling these guys all the way down here through the tri-oval. It's a creeping pace as they wait for that green to come out. But in control is the 44, and he's getting ready to get on that loud pedal. The green flag is out, and he's away.
Away we go. And Cram, with some help from the 51, Travis Elliott, getting a nose out in front of Josh Durham in the 19.
Josh Durham really looking to get help from that driver behind him in the 39 of Jacob Sayers. He is really looking for the help as he comes off the corner here, really try to get a nice run as these cars come up to full song. He's got a good run as he comes up the outside of the second car in the inside row, and they're about to barrel off down into 3 here.
Down this long Talladega backstretch into turn number 3 they go, still running side by side. That outside line starting to form up nicely and build some energy. You got that purple and white Taco Bell car, the red and white machine of Jacob Sayers. And it looks like Sayers thinking about going 3 wide. And the 25 right behind him with that Goodwrench paint scheme thought about it momentarily as well.
Alex Green in that 15, he's running the fence. He's starting to get some help from some friends behind him here as they start to pull 3 by 3 through the center of this pack. They're getting a run as they come through these corners, get ready to come out of 2. He gets squeezed, but he comes and he makes it out of the corner. Big run for the 15 as he keeps driving down the back straightaway here.
He has got a full head of steam coming out of turn number 3, and he is going to go straight to the top of the charts here down this backstretch.
He had such a head of steam, he just could not be blocked. He had good help from that 46 car behind him. The 46 who took a tumble, he's already back to the top charts here. He gets a big run up against the fence. 4 wide as they come through the tri-oval.
4 wide through the tri-oval. Kelly Milam in the 46 out front looking for his first win of the season. And right now, he's where he needs to be to get it done, but the lap count is not where it needs to be. So he is still working on that, but if anyone can hold them off for a few laps, I believe it'd be this 46 machine.
This is true. Kelly Milam went top to bottom, fence to apron. He goes all the way down to the inside and blocks the inside row. He was able to do that as the rest of the lanes kind of fizzled out with energy, and he will lead for a little while before they can get kind of energized and organized in the outside rows.
Here comes some cars to the high side. Lucas Cram leading them with the 19 machine of Joshua Durham pushing. We got 2 cars on the inside with a bit of a gap, and then the third car in the inside lane is the 29 machine closing up quickly. But here come the teammates of Cody Ober and Robert Payne, and Robert Payne with a full head of steam is going to shoot past his teammate in the 8. But now all 3 teammates are lined up in that middle line. That's the 3, the 15, and the 8.
Travis Elliott in that white and lime green 51 machine, he tried to get stuff going up against the fence out there. He had a little bit of help for the time being, but that went away as he falls back in line behind that white and blue Napa number 15.
Robert Payne in the 3 machine. Looked like he was shot out of a cannon last time through the tri-oval. Here he comes again, moving to the high side, and he's got his teammate Alex Green with him. These guys going to try and run that high, wide, and handsome line and see if they can't get another spectacular run down the backstretch.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than getting a wild run, rim riding that fence and coming all the way to the front. It's real hard to block you when you got a head of steam like you get when you get up there.
I'll tell you what, if I was out there with these guys, I'd show them how to do it for about a half a corner.
These guys are getting it done, showing the level of talent that they've got out there as we're running 2x2x2, 3 lanes and deep. Everybody trying to sift their way through the pack and make the right moves, find the right energy, find the right guys to help them, and work their way all the way up to the front.
Once again, through the tri-oval, down into turn number 1, the 46 machine, Kelly Milam out front. Now, Lucas Cram has led for 8 laps. Milam has led for 4 now. So, we're seeing some lead changes happening.
Yeah, and it looks like we're also seeing some guys that kind of like the positioning they're in. I mean, you got Milam out leading in the front here. The 12 really doesn't seem to mind riding where he is. He hasn't really shown any aggression or any ideas to make any moves to the outside. 29 either. I mean, 29's had cars to his outside, but for the most part, these guys have stayed organized, stayed working together. They kind of like where they're at. They know if they work together, they may be able to stay up front for a while and make it difficult on guys to be able to get around them and kind of shuffle them back through the pack. So it's going to be hard for these guys to really get organized and get in the outside rows and start making a move. But coming on the outside right now, you're seeing it. That 44, Lucas Cram.
Lucas Cram running now in the middle, but he's got a good run down this backstretch. We're going to see that high line really kind of often be used to pass, and then we'll see him drop down into the inside. I've always wondered why drivers always do that, why they don't just stay on the high side, that they really got that good run in, and we got a caution.
We got a lot of guys running backwards down the racetrack here. Some guys working their way through it. Cody Over looks to be involved. 39 of Jacob Sayers looks to be involved. Also going backwards through the grass, our Chase Berry in the 11 car is involved.
Our Maxspeedtv replay is loaded up, and we're going to watch these guys as we're seeing them go down the backstretch here. Go on board with Cody Over in the 8 machine. See him kind of 3 wide here. He's working through the middle. He's got his teammates on the outside. Getting to the back bumper of the 11 machine, R. Chase Berry. And then around he goes. And you can see a whole lot of contact happening.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. He's going to have to go in and get fixed if he wants to continue to be competitive in this one.
The 11 machine looked like maybe a situation, a net code there. Not 100% sure on that view.
Couple more guys that were involved in this incident that kind of got away. We didn't really get to see it in the replay. The 15 of Alex Green, he was involved, got some heavy contact as he was fenced in the outside wall. It looks like along with the 11 and the 8 and the 39, some damage was given off to a couple other cars. One looks to be the 35 car. Looks like he might have gotten a little bit of damage potentially.
We go on the nose of Glenn Bundren, and it looks like a checkup happened right in front of Bundren. Now, I think the 37 machine, because everyone checked up, he had such a head of steam, he's the one that ended up turning the A to Cody Over.
Yeah, that 37 machine's going to have a little bit of damage. He might want to go in and be interested in fixing throughout the course of this caution flag as well.
All right, well, we got cars on pit road here. Lynn McNeese has stayed out in the 84. So we're going to see the stage winner is going to be declared as the 46 of Kelly Milam because of when the caution came out. So our stage 1 winner, getting it done by virtue of caution flag, but he's got it done. Let's see if we can't get a word in with the 46 machine. Kelly, this is KR and Shawn up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Yeah, brother, I can hear you.
Oh man, you win stage 1 here tonight by virtue of the caution coming out a little bit early. But great positioning, great timing. Sometimes luck is all you need to win a race.
Yeah, it wasn't too much luck there before the caution, though.
Well, you were out front, though. You did get into that caution earlier where we saw you tumbling. We know you got 2 fast repairs. You've used one of them. How is your outlook on the rest of this race?
I'll try to stay up front and stay out of trouble, you know. Hopefully it can be there at the end.
All right, Kelly. Well, man, any sponsors, people that you would like to thank while you got a chance?
Yeah, Alex and Cody and Robert for putting this series on, and then, of course, you guys for broadcasting, and all my teammates, Derek and Josh.
All right, man. Well, you know what? Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and hopefully we'll see you in victory lane here at the end of this thing.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank y'all.
That is the 46 piloted by Kelly Milam. Man, Shawn, interesting stage 1.
Yeah, and that's great for Kelly Milam. I mean, he's 4th in points currently. That should really help him throughout the course of this race. It puts him in a good position to continue to try and control the race and try and get himself to the end. I know there's a lot of laps left, but it's always good when you're out front. You really do have a chance to control things. Everybody says speedways are kind of a crapshoot, and sometimes that's true, but there's things that you can do and ways you can work with people that will keep you out front, and if you're out front, it's easy to control that.
That it is. So while these guys circle around, we're going to step away for a moment, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And before we went to break, Shawn was talking about points. Now's a good time to show them to you. Josh Milam is our points leader coming into tonight's race. He does have 1 win and 291 accumulated points, but Cody Ober hasn't got a win yet, looking for his first win, but he's sitting second in points. Derek Conley with 2 wins and an all-star win coming up third, and Kelly Milam, our stage 1 winner tonight. He is rounding out your top 4 points finishers. Travis Elliott in 5th place. So I'll tell you, Shawn, these guys, even though Cody Ober, Kelly Milam don't have wins yet, they're almost always out front, and their points are really showing it.
Yeah, they're holding nothing back. It's been no holds barred racing for them currently this season, and they are really taking no prisoners today. I mean, they're just going after it.
All right, so stage 1 is over. Stage 2 getting ready to fire off. And that's going to be at lap 40. And I'll tell you what, Kelly Milam in that 46 machine, he's got some stiff competition with that 44 Lucas Cram on his outside. These guys waiting patiently for the drop of the green flag.
Green flag,
and there
green
it
flag.
is. We're back underway as that yellow machine with a red spoiler starts taking off. He's got to try and beat that black 44 down into turn 1.
He got a nice push from the 28 there of Derek Conley, and that's really what you needed when you get started here. You really need a push. I mean, we see it on in the real stock car racing every weekend, and we see it here. You really need that push from the guy behind you if you want to get a good jump on these restarts, and Kelly got that.
Kelly got that good start, but here comes the 44 and the 51 on the backstretch on the outside, down into turn number 3. Put Cram for now as the leader, but here comes that inside line through the corner.
They were 3 motors to 2 coming down the backstretch there. Let's see if they can get hooked up again. All 3 cars were nose to tail pushing each other. If they can do that again, Lucas Cram will absolutely take this lead for this lap. It's a photo finish to the line that time. It looks like Kelly got him, though. He got a good push from the 28. 28 kind of shot him out front, and as they go down into 1 and through 1 and 2 here, advantage to the 46.
We're riding on board with the 35 of Doug Rice. We see him go from the high line down to the bottom here. Doug has kind of been running a slow and steady to the front pace. He started 21st. Right now he's 12th. And this guy is going to be one to watch. He might be able to sneak up there as he closes the gap on the 14 machine in a hurry.
That's right. Another guy that I'm watching, he got involved in that last one, was Alex Green in the 15. He was very aggressive early on in this race. He wasn't afraid to get up to the fence, run 3 wide, and get out there high, wide, and handsome. And I wouldn't be surprised if he can get some help if he do it again.
Yeah, Alex Green won a race off of that aggressiveness, charged right through the middle, put himself in kind of what I would like to say would be the sucker hole, but he turned it into the winner's hole. And man, oh man, it was a great race, great drive by him, and that's what got him his first win of the season.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what it takes to get it done at these super speedways. I mean, you really need to just, like I said, no holds barred type racing when it counts. I mean, you got to be smart about it, but a lot of times if you can be aggressive when it matters and make the right moves, get the right pushes, and work with the right people, I mean, you can get it done.
Down the front stretch they come. We are getting ready to complete lap 23, starting lap 24 because of math. And there they go across the line, and now I'll tell you, that front line hasn't changed. The 46 and the 44, those two really staying out front. But that 46 has a teammate in Derek Conley right behind him.
And it doesn't look like those two are going to get split up at all here. It looks like they're going to keep working together, keep managing the temps properly. The 3 is right there. He's doing a good job of tucking right up in there, keeping that inside line competitive. And then on the outside, you've got that nice, very nice looking white and lime green monster number 51 machine. That is piloted by Travis Elliott, and he's doing a great job on the outside, along with the 24 up there of John Larson. They're doing a nice job keeping that outside organized, keeping that outside competitive. And as they come down the straightaway, they should get a nice run here as they all pile down into 1.
Travis Elliott in the 51 machine. The second car on the high side, pushing that 44. They have lost a little bit of ground through this corner entry, but be watching for these guys to get a full head of steam down the backstretch.
Some of these guys through the middle of the pack, they're kind of riding. They might have been involved in one. They want to save that last fast repair in case they need it. So some of these guys back here in the middle of the pack, they look to be a little bit more passive than we saw early on in the race. They kind of just seem to be riding, leaving a lot of space, keeping the temps down in these cars, and really just looking to survive, get to the end of this thing and be able to compete then.
We got one car peeling off for pit road as the 19 of Josh Durham running that white and purple Taco Bell paint scheme. He is hitting pit road here. Not sure if this is a scheduled stop or what, but he is on pit road for the first time now that I look at his scoring sheet.
Yeah, Kara, it's hard to believe that that would be a scheduled stop. He doesn't really have any drafting partners. It doesn't look to be like that was planned. You really, if you're going to come down pit road, you want to have some friends with you, try and get back out there, running the draft, keep these cars running up full song, at full speed, is what you would run in these packs. So it looks to be like an unscheduled stop. Hopefully everything is good for that 19, and he'll be able to get back into this thing.
19, Josh Durham. That was his second pit stop. I did misspeak. We all know I can't talk anyways. But hey, here we go, back to the front. The 46 is now out front with the 51 as something has happened to the 44 of Lucas Cram.
Yeah, Lucas looks to have been maybe shuffled out. The 24 pushed the 51 up through here, and the 51's got a good shot going right now. He looks like he's going to take the advantage going down into 1. A big push to Kelly, though. They go even nosed up through 1 and 2.
We got one on the very high side, and that is Isaiah Dupree in the 93 machine. He's looking for some assistance, and now he's going to tuck in down behind the 15. Teammates getting hooked up there.
Yeah, I see in the outside line, back up to the front, the 24, John Larson. He keeps peeking to the outside. It looks like he might be running hot, but he doesn't really want to let off the back of the 51. He wants to keep that outside competitive, but he appears to be running a little hot. He keeps poking the nose out ever so slightly. He pokes it out again right there, but he really wants to try and give a push to the 51 here. They got a big run coming down the straightaway. Maybe drop off his back bumper a little bit going into the corner, get some air back to that nose. Kelly's going to get a good run as we go into 1 here with a good push from his teammate, Derek Conley, in the 28.
Larson, as we are on board with him in the 24 machine, running the gyro cam, you can kind of see just how much of a transition they go through on the straightaways versus the corners. Even the straightaways here are banked a little bit.
Yep, I think the straightaways are in the single digits of banking here. And they need it when these guys are running as fast as they are all the time around here. These cars get really light down the straightaways. That's where you see a lot of the accidents happen, to be honest with you. And so a little bit of banking helps that.
Kelly Milam still out front in the 46. He's been out front for 15 laps now. Lucas Cram for 10. And the other 2 lap leaders are Cody Ober for 2 laps and Lynn McNeese for 1 lap. So these guys really been switching it up. We got 4 official lap leaders, but quite a few lead changes.
Yeah, and so far at this stage of the race, the line that seems to continue to prevail is the inside line. They seem to get some good runs coming on the outside, but they just can't get enough momentum in the outside. They just don't seem to have enough energy to be able to pull out in front of Kelly and really make something happen. So the 51 and the 24, John Larson, and the 51 of Travis Elliott, they're doing a fantastic job of really fighting as hard as they can up there, keeping that car cool in the 24, and keeping that outside line that doesn't have the numbers competitive. But right now, if I was down there, I think I'd want to be in the inside line, wouldn't you?
I kind of like the inside line, but, you know, I said it earlier, if that high side gets you to the lead, don't abandon it. Just keep using it. And we've seen some great runs coming from not only the middle high side line, but rim riding right along the wall and shooting down that backstretch.
Yeah, you really just got to have the right push. You got to have the right friends, the right momentum. You really got to work that draft properly, and you got to commit. And the 50, and Travis and John, and even in the 14 here of Cody Eldred, these guys have really committed to the outside. They're making it work. They're managing the temps as best they can. They just don't consistently have the numbers. If they can get the numbers in that line, they really could probably produce the energy necessary in the organization to get them cars out front.
We're riding on board with the 42 of David Wright, looking out the back at the 15 of Alex Green as Alex Green got into the wall.
That's hard when you get down in the corner and the nose just pushes tight a little bit on you and you end up in the fence. It takes a little while to get it rolled down to be able to get away from the wall, as that's all it wants to do is just get sucked right in and hold on to that fence. He might lose the draft here, and that's really unfortunate as he has a fast car early in this race.
He might lose the lead pack draft, but the second group will be able to pick him up. So Alex Green got some work to do to get back to the contention for this race, for this stage 2 win. We are already on lap 32. This stage ends on lap 40, or if the caution comes out and is going to overlap.
Okay, do you think we've got two packs that have kind of formed here? The lead pack continues to shrink a little bit. You've got a pack behind them that are all running very passively, kind of single file. You think some of these guys have been involved in a wreck really early in a long 94-lap race, and maybe they just want to ride for right now? They want to stay out of the hectic racing that is the top pack here and just kind of survive, get to the end of this thing, and then compete.
You know, it's entirely possible that these guys are content to ride in the back, but as you watch them, they are scattered all around. They're not formed up very nicely. I think that these guys are just trying to figure out a little bit more about how to handle these cars. Not 100% sure. Maybe they got some damage, but when you got guys like this that are hanging back and you see them not really nicely formed up, kind of wiggling around all throughout, it makes you think that maybe they're back there for a reason.
Yeah, I wonder, and sometimes, you just don't catch it maybe. There might have been a situation where a lot of these guys checked up for a wreck that may have been, that wasn't, and now they're all kind of racing each other and running in their own pack here, hoping for an opportunity to get back up with this lead pack. But back up front, these guys have not given it up. Travis Elliott, John Larson, they're on the outside line. And then on the inside line, that 46 continues to be a thorn in the 51 side. The 46 of Kelly Milam with his teammate Derek Conley continuing to run the inside line. And it has not changed.
Now these guys out front, we got the 46, the 28, and the 3 on the inside line. The 46, 28 teammates, but the 3 of Robert Payne, he doesn't have a teammate around him. He is looking for some help from the 8, who is his closest teammate. So we'll see if that can happen here quickly and what those two cars can do when they get hooked up.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if that happens. I mean, Cody has gotten close to Robert a little bit a couple times, but there just isn't a hole to get down behind or in front of him. And the hole that may have been closed up too quickly too many times, and then he may have got shuffled a little bit. So these guys really just haven't gotten a chance to get hooked up, and if they do, it'd be interesting to see what they might be able to pull off.
We go on board with Isaiah Dupree. Little Izzy D getting out after it. He was running high, wide, and handsome, but now he's starting to lose some ground as he's got no help, and everyone diving down to the inside to get past him.
You can see a lot of these guys kind of poking their nose to find some air. I wonder if maybe the 3 is running a little warm, and or maybe he's trying to get it cool, so then he can help assist in the pushing on the inside line, try and get them out and a little bit ahead of the 51 of Travis Elliott. These guys maybe the tires, they may not have taken tires, some of them on one of these pit stops, maybe the tires are starting to really show a little bit of signs of wear, and they're kind of, side to side and trying to hold these cars down. There's a lot of turbulent air in that draft that kind of sucks you around a little bit here and there. You won't expect it when it happens. So very interesting to see these guys try and manhandle and horse these cars around and run and do that all at 195, 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, we're floating right around 195 down the straightaways. And, mentally, very tough to continue to do that because your eyes are constantly moving. You're constantly plotting other drivers' trajectories, your trajectory. Can you make the car stick if you drive down into the corner? Is it going to stick this time? Are you going to get some aero push? What is going to happen? Lap after lap, that starts to wear on you.
Yes, you're absolutely right, KR. Most stock car races and stock car racing, you're constantly trying to race the track. You're trying to do whatever you can to make your car go faster on the track that you're on. A lot of times you're racing other drivers, but at the same time you're racing the track. Here at the Super Speedway, you are racing every driver out here on the racetrack, and you are trying to do so without getting involved in any incidents or any issues.
Scott Bellum in the 07 making a break for pit road before the end of this stage. We'll see if this is going to work for him. If he can get back out there before he gets lapped, this could be a great strategy call on his part.
This lead pack continues to shrink. It's getting smaller and smaller. Some of these guys fall off the lead pack, maybe go down pit road and pit for some fuel or for some tires as they try and set themselves up for the end of the second stage. And it's going to be really interesting how the strategy plays out. Up front, though, the guys that just will not quit, they are out there to lead this race, and that is it. That's the 51 of Travis Elliott, the 46 of Kelly Milam, helping him, Derek Conley in the 28 on that inside line, the 24 of John Larson in the outside line. They will not break away from their dancing partners out here, and everybody behind them just waiting to pounce.
Scott Bellum in the 07 was handed a speeding penalty, so he held up in his pit stall for an extra 15 seconds. So that really is going to ruin his strategy call there, but he wasn't the only one that came down pit road. I also saw Alex Green hit pit road, Tristan Walker in the 17, Aspen Belvin, as these guys are getting off of pit road up to speed right in front of our leaders.
Our lead pack is going to have to maneuver through a lot of these cars that they're actually putting a lap down here, and they're going to have to do it too wide. Most of them were able to get through, so that was fairly good. That is very dangerous, though. That could easily cause some problems.
All right, racing to the line. Are we going to see the caution fly here at the completion of 39, or will be the completion of lap 40? But Kelly Milam is going to be out front for that one. And there it is. That is stage win number 2 going to Kelly Milam, picking up both stage wins here so far tonight.
That is a sign of strength. When you've got a car that fast and a teammate willing to work with you, and that 28 of Derek Conley, that is a sign of strength and a sign that these guys are going to have to work together and get organized if they want to beat these two.
So that wraps it up for stage number 2. Kelly Milam, once again, your winner. And it looked like he had some great help from his teammate in the 28, as you said. But, man, that 51 of Travis Elliott was hanging tough on the outside.
That's right. He was very sporty up there. He really just needed a little extra push, a little extra organization, a couple more cars, maybe some more energy in that outside line, maybe a bobble from the two that he was battling in the form of Kelly Milam in the 46 and Derek Conley in that 28. He really just needed maybe a bobble in that inside line to discombobulate him a little bit and make them lose a little bit of energy. If he could have gotten that, he probably could have gotten out front, maybe cut down in front of him, and maybe he could have been battling to win that stage.
So Kelly Milam, your stage winner, coming down pit road along with all the other lead lap cars. We see the 8 machine of Cody Ober. He is already on to pit road. The 3
looking to exit pit road. Here comes the 3.
Getting off cleanly there is the 3 of Robert Payne.
46 didn't get off in the lead. He did get off third, though. The 8 looks to be sitting on pit road, maybe fixing some damage.
So Cody Ober on pit road for an extended amount of time. But I will say the 42 of David Wright, he has stayed out. Scored right now as the race leader, and it looks like he is going to come down pit road. That will mean that the 39 of Jacob Sayers will hit pit road as well. So my timing and scoring needs to catch up to what is going on here. And then I can really let you know who our race leader is.
Yeah, KR, one other thing that kind of interests me there, it appeared as though the 51 of Travis Elliott, who battled so hard, so profusely on the outside line for that stage win there, it looked like he was on pit road for an extended period of time as well. I just wonder what might have happened to him as he came down pit road and sat there for a little extra time.
His pit stop wasn't any longer than anyone else's, but he was on pit road for an extended period of time.
Oh, reviewing it, he slid really far into his box, slid really far close to that inside wall, put the left side of his car way too close. He had to back up, roll back in, and then let the guy service his car. So a pit road mistake for Travis Elliott. He's going to have to work his way all the way back up to the field.
The bad part is it took him a minute to realize he had done that and then couldn't quite get it into position.
Yeah, and that's devastating. He had the track position. He worked so hard for it throughout the course of the second stage, and now he's going to have to try and battle back in the last third of this one.
As he gets back on pit road once again, now he's off of it, so making 2 pit stops here. But the 42 machine of David Wright, I have him scored as our race leader.
You and me both, KR, and I will have to say, so David Wright is scored as the race leader for me as well out front here. Couple cars to keep an eye on as we get ready to go green here. That number 3 of Robert Payne, he was the first one off of pit road, or the guys that came down. He's been sporty all day. He really was just kind of mired back in traffic there through the course of that second stage. Now he's gotten some track position, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do in that number 3 car. Alongside him, here comes a bunch of cars underneath him that might be lucky dogs or getting their laps back of some sort. Kelly Milam, another one. He came off pit road a little slow, but he's obviously been super sporty. 2 stage wins, so look for him to be very competitive as well.
Yeah, Kelly Milam winning both stages here tonight. He's going to be disappointed if he can't pull off the race win. But a little interesting situation with strategy and all of that playing out has put David Wright as our race leader. Lucas Cram in the 44 machine, he is now second.
This is true. Greg Adams, he's running real slow on the apron. It looks as though he may have a black flag that needs to be serviced and let a lot of cars go by here as we get ready to go green. Back out front though, the 42 of David Wright, followed by that 44 who's also been super sporty in that number 44 Ford of Lucas Cram, and John Larson, who's also continuing his run way up front here in the 24. He has been very competitive and very consistent up in the lead part of this pack, and he's looking to get himself a win tonight at Talladega.
Well, while they cycle around under caution, this is our 3rd caution. 2 of those have been for stages. One of them was for an accident. We got 52 laps to go. We've had 14 lead changes among 5 or 6 different drivers. It's been quite a great race as far as, action on track. But, right now we're under yellow, so what do you say? Let's see about getting a word in with, how about Derek Conley, who helped push Kelly Milam to that stage win. Derek Conley, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Man, oh man, you really were a factor in pushing Kelly Milam to that stage win. As teammates, was that part of the plan, or is that 46 machine just that much faster?
Oh, well, there was no way I could go out and go around him without, screwing up his chance to win the stage either. So I'd rather the team win than just me win.
Well, Derek, you're coming into tonight. You have 2 wins on the season. You're 3rd in points, fresh off the All-Star win. And here you are getting ready to enter the final stage of this race, and you've been running up front. What do you think your chances are here tonight?
Way too early to tell. We see you got 50 laps whenever I come to the line here. Anything can happen. As you saw on lap 5, someone can just decide to make a bad decision and wreck half the field. So hit me up in about 10 laps and I'll have a better answer for that question.
All right, Derek. Well, man, again, huge shout out to you for winning that all-star race at Monza. That was quite an event. How has your week been since you won that race?
Busy, just filled with work. Then raced on Wednesday and won the truck race that we have in this series at Daytona. So other than that, just busy.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations to you on winning that all-star event. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car, so you got some work to do to get back to the front, but I have faith in you in getting there.
All right, well, hey, y'all have a good night.
You too. Derek, before we let you go, any sponsors, thank you, shout-outs you'd like to give?
Again, just thanks to you for broadcasting, Alex, Cody, Robert for putting on the league, Vega for race control, and my teammates. I'm there for them, they're there for me, and we're going to work together and see how many wins we can get this season.
All right, that is Derek Conley running that Fuel. Is it Fuel Motorsports or just Fuel?
Fuel Sim Racing, FSR.
Fuel Sim Racing. All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Derek Conley, Fuel Sim Racing in the 28 machine, taking a moment of his time to talk to us.
And how selfless is it of Derek Conley to go for the team win versus his own win, knowing that the chances of him being able to pull out in front of the 46 of his teammate here, of Kelly Milam, and not hurt both of their chances of a potential stage win. So some serious patience.
Hang on, we're not
in
going
the seat of
green,
that
not
28
going
car.
green.
And that's what you need if you want to win races, if you want to win team races, and you want to do well as an organization.
So a delayed caution. Lights coming back on the pace car. We're going to go around one more time. Field not fully set here. So David Wright, Lucas Graham, they're going to make up that front row for this restart. The 24 of John Larson and the 26 of Jordan Wright will make up row number 2. Then we got the 91 of Ernie Williams and the 37 of Glenn Bundren. And you know what? That 91, he's slowly been creeping up through this event here tonight.
That's right. Don't count them out. I mean, you can't count anybody out that's in this thing at the end of it, but don't count that 91 out. He's been slowly but surely creeping his way up to the field, as you said, KR, and he will not shy away from taking a win if he can get one.
Now, when we say creeping up through, he started in 4th place, I believe, but got caught up in an accident and has had to work his way back to the front. Glenn Bundren in the 37, he's gained 14 spots here tonight. As of right now, he's our biggest mover on this field.
Yeah, and that's impressive. You got to do it with strategy sometimes. You got to do it with working through these stages and kind of, not making mistakes on pit road and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes when these guys are battling 2x2 like that, you don't really have any friends that want to take it to the fence and run 3 wide. You just kind of got to ride because there's really nowhere to go at that point. So to have some of these guys be able to drive through the field and get to themselves some track position, get to the position that they're in right now, that's just impressive on their part. And they're going to put themselves in a position and to give themselves an opportunity to go for this win.
All right, so the lights are off on the pace car. It means we're getting ready to go green flag racing. David Wright in the 42 machine. He is the leader. Lucas Graham on the outside. Graham making it back up to the front after ending up in a peculiar situation and losing some ground. Once he gets to the front, though, that man is a bear to get around.
That is not false. I mean, that is about as accurate of a statement as I could hear anyone say, and he's proven it today.
Pace car peeling off, field waiting for the green flag to fly. It's a long wait here at Talladega because you got to go through the tri-oval first before you can even see the flag stand. So here we are. We're still waiting. That pace car's been off for 10 minutes. There's the green flag finally. And David Wright in the 42 getting up onto the throttle. getting through the gears here. So far, nobody's spun the tires. And it looks like everyone's going to restart down on the bottom here on the inside line. That high side really not forming up very well very quickly.
No, but even with that being said, Lucas Cram continuing to keep that momentum going. That Ford is powering down on the outside. He's got a little bit of help coming in that 26 car behind him, but somehow Lucas Cram, with very little help, been able to hang on that right rear quarter panel of the 42 with David Wright and keep himself in contention here. Now that help's come, he really might have a shot. They're going to get a good run going down through 3, keep up with him through the middle of the corner here, and have a big run coming off of 4.
Something happened to Art Chase Berry as he is going to be down on the inside, losing a lot of speed here. Not sure what's going on with that machine. We'll have to check in with that here in a little bit. But meanwhile, across the line, it was going to be Lucas Cram and the 44 leading it. But David Wright coming right back at him in the 42.
Well, David Wright's got that 24 of John Larson behind him, and I have to say, KR, if I'm a driver out there at this point in the race and I'm trying to win this thing, the one guy that I might want behind me is that 24. He has proven to be able to manage them temps, push really hard, consistently be able to battle and keep himself in the top 2 rows. He is a guy that I would trust behind me and really want behind me to give myself the most optimum chance to get a win.
84 machine of Lynn McNeese, kind of with a throwback paint scheme there. Quite an interesting paint scheme. One of my favorite cars ever when I was a young lad. Seeing that Western Auto 84 machine out there. Kind of like that paint scheme. I don't know if you know who that was, but that was piloted by Darrell Waltrip, Shawn.
Oh no, the 24 Larson, just as I talked about, it turns the 42. Couple cars into it. They're down in the
yellow
inside
flag
fence.
is out.
Some severe damage to the 42 with David Wright. Some other cars involved with some significant damage.
Tristan Walker in the 17 getting a piece of it, along with the 35 of Doug Rice. Oh, let's get back into our replay mode, see if we can see exactly what happened. A little bit of unfortunate situation for the 42 of David Wright, though. So he's going to go from the lead to not leading.
And that's just so disappointing after all the work that you've done. The 24 of John Larson really just tried to time up that push, it looks like. Got into him just a little too early. They really didn't get off the corner yet. Not only that, but to add insult to injury, he got on that left rear quarter, which is just not where you want to hit somebody at that point in the track. Turns that 42 right around sideways, and unfortunately he spins up in front of a lot of the cars in the inside lane.
Very unfortunate as we are watching it all happen here. We're going to go on board with Les Levy in the 62 machine. You see the 24 and the 42 just up ahead. 42 goes spinning. Les tried to go down low. Would have missed it all, except for the 42 just could not stay straight any longer and just kept coming right on down right in front of Les.
Yeah, just an unfortunate situation for some of those guys that really just had nowhere to go and weren't expecting that to happen to them.
Watch again from the 91 of Ernie Williams. Williams running that high side was able to get through it. 35 of Doug Rice, though, not quite able to do it. He got a big old chunk of the damage.
A couple guys that worked together early or were contenders early. One involved in the cause of the caution there, and John Larson in the 24. He's down pit road. The 46 of Kelly Milam is also down pit road, so look for these guys to maybe work together, get them fast machines back out front like they were early in this thing.
Several drivers on pit road. Alex Green in the 15 gonna be the first one to leave pit road. He's fallen all the way back into 10th place. So a little bit of work for him to do to get to the end, but no driver can make it to the end of the race. Our fuel window is anywhere from 15 to 17 laps, so we still got a long ways to go here. we got quite a bit of racing left to do.
Oh yeah, there is so much racing left to do. These guys really are going to have to get aggressive, kind of a patient aggressive. I mean, you really don't want to do things that are too aggressive that are going to turn guys, but you want to be aggressive and push them and keep yourself out front. So while they still have, you know, only one stage left to go, at the same time, I mean, they still have around 25-30 laps left. So you really just got to be patient sometimes, and I know that's hard for these guys. You know, you're doing 95 miles an hour, 195 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour. You're trying to get out front, trying to lead this thing. Stay out of the incidents that might happen behind you by being out in front of them. So sometimes it's really just hard to hold that patience button down and really try and only let it up when it's time at the end, you know.
All right, guys, we're going to step away, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Talladega as we're under caution here once again, but these guys getting some drivers heading for pit road for the final stop. Well, I shouldn't say final stop, but for a top off. But you know what? We're going to talk to one driver here, and that's the 37 machine of Glenn Bundren. Let's see if we can find where he is here in Team Speak. I don't see him, do you?
I'm having the same issue you are, I think. I don't see him, unfortunately. We were going to try and get a hold of Glenn Bundren here, and he's got some fans that are looking to hear from him as well. We're looking to see what he's got for the rest of this thing, but he just doesn't seem to be in TeamSpeak. So unfortunately, radio communication issues for Glenn Bundren, and we'll just have to try again later.
Well, that we will. Let's see if we can't talk to the 44 of Lucas Cram, though. Shawn, why don't you see if you can get a hold of him?
Yeah, Lucas Cram, Shawn Cool up in the booth with KR. Are you here, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
You have been stout all day. You've been working through the lead, working up in the lead pack, trying to work some strategy here. You're leading the race currently. How you feeling about that car?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's been pretty fun up here, trying to get some stage points, try to put my way in. The car feels great. Don't have any damage on it so far, so hopefully I can keep it that way for the rest of the race.
Yeah, man, it looks good. Now, tell me what, you've been up front, you've gotten some experience, you obviously have been running these super speedways week after week with these guys here at Racing Superspeedway Series. Tell me, what is it going to take for you to get this win?
I pretty much just gotta get the right people with you to work with you. Got my team up here on my outside, so that's gonna help us a little bit. But yeah, you gotta get around the right people and know where you're going and just see what the runs are coming in, going to that lane.
Well, 10-4, man, I wish you luck. And is there anybody out there, anybody you want to thank, or anything that while you got our attention, you'd like to let us all know?
Just thank Jordan for being my teammate, you guys for broadcasting, and Alex for putting the show on.
Alrighty, buddy. Good luck out there.
All right, thank you.
That was the 44 Lucas Cram getting a quick word in with him before he goes back. Green flag racing. Pace car is peeled off. We are getting ready to go. Shawn, take it away.
Yeah, these guys are doing that really long, slow, hard, patient pace through the tri-oval. Really trying not to speed or do anything erratic that they shouldn't be doing. The leader, Lucas Cram, in control. The green flag is out. He takes off. Good jump for Lucas Cram. He's really looking for a push from behind. His teammates out there with a good push on the outside. Let's see what happens.
Lucas Cram with some help from the 7 of Josh Milam. Milam making his way back to the front after a pretty stout tumble earlier in the event. Here he is, second car in the inside line. On the outside is the 26 of Jordan Wright, teammates with Lucas Cram in the 44, so teammates racing each other. But Aspen Belvin in the 29 pushing that 26 for all he's worth.
Yeah, these two guys are really controlling both lanes. I mean, they've got control over who's going where and when completely. Both lanes under control. Which one of them is going to get to the line really doesn't seem to matter to them too much, but they both want to win this thing. They're both sniffing out a win here as we start to count down the laps and get towards the end of this thing. And, both of them really want to get some win. You heard Lucas Cram talk about getting stage points and trying to point up through the points here. So, I mean, neither one of them are holding anything back.
Coming out of the turn 2 down the backstretch, Lucas Cram out front, Jordan Wright in the 26 on the high side out front. These guys holding steady, really just kind of running door to door. No one really getting a good run there, but now the inside line getting a good run through the corner.
And I gotta say, KR, one guy who has entertained me thoroughly today. He's been involved in one wreck that he really couldn't control. Kind of got put in the outside fence. A second ago, he was up high, wide, and handsome again in that 15 number 15 Napa Chevrolet of Alex Green. With the right help and the right people behind him, he is not afraid to put it up there against the fence and let it hang out wide. He had it up there. That was entertaining as he was working the outside line, trying to get a run towards the front.
Alex Green in that 15 machine, as you said, always an entertaining driver. He's not afraid to mix it up. Gets in there, gets dirty with it. But by getting dirty, he's not necessarily a dirty driver. He just gets down there, puts himself into some pretty spectacular situations, and everyone seems to come out on top from it.
Yeah, but you know what? These drivers are out here to put on a show for the fans. We got people watching this race, and that's what they want to see. So, Alex, hang her out there high, wide, and handsome, and let's see you get it done.
So right now, Alex running 9th. He has made a pit stop that was 7 laps ago. So we are going to see a little bit of different fuel strategies here as the 44 Lucas Cram here in another few laps. He is going to have to make a pit stop along with his teammate, the 26 of Jordan Wright. So it'll be interesting to see how this field gets shooken up as we got 3 wide, Alex Green in the 15 machine going once again to the high side.
He is towing that outside line up against the fence. He's really not afraid. Oh, we got a wreck.
29 Aspen Velvin going around. The 35 Doug Rice, the 24 involved, the 3 of Robert Payne, the
Kelly
91
Milam's
Ernie.
involved.
Kelly Milam getting a piece of it. So many cars all of a sudden turned into junk.
And now it's really getting down to the point of who's got fast repairs left and really can still fix their car and get back out here to be competitive. Who doesn't have enough damage to where a little bit of repair on pit road won't be enough to get them competitive again, regardless of fast repair. Guys like Robert Payne is absolutely demolished. He's going to hope for another fast repair. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of guys out here in that same position. Guys like Douglas Rice have a ton of damage. Unfortunately, Kelly Milam, he's got a ton of damage. We know Kelly was involved in a wreck where he was turned over on his lid early in the race, so hopefully he's got one left for his sake. A lot of cars with a lot of damage here.
We go on board with Ernie Williams. You see how he got caught up into this situation. Spinning down to the inside wall. Damage doesn't look too bad from this shot, but man, he got hit pretty good.
Yeah, he really did. And a couple drivers were trying to work their way through the wrecks, and a couple guys who either maybe lost their brakes or slid down through the track that really just didn't have control and weren't able to hold it down. We're unfortunately collecting some guys trying to work their way up through. Really scary situation for the 29 car is when he was turned sideways, he almost went up and over. The roof flaps deployed, kept him down on the racetrack. Another guy got turned sideways was the 3 of Robert Payne. He almost went over the left-hand side of the car. So nobody on their lid, but very, very violent impact.
So a lot of cars coming down pit road here, and we're going to see that as the yellow came out right towards the end of a fuel run for our front runners.
Yeah, and another guy that I didn't realize until now was involved in that was John Larson, a guy who's been doing so great all race. He got involved in the one incident where he kind of turned the 42, and now he was involved in that one. So a race that was going so well in strong form, slowly kind of falling apart. Hopefully he can rebound and find his way back up to the front.
All right, we're going to have a lot of drivers, because of how this caution happened, they went spinning down into pit road, and they're going to end up with a black flag because they entered a closed pit.
Yeah, iRacing unfortunately is a little different than real racing when it comes to situations like that. If you slide down through the grass and you end up on pit road, iRacing considers that as entering a closed pit or entering a pit unsafely, and you end up with a black flag that you're going to have to serve. So race control can clear those black flags, and I would anticipate that they do that. However, they're going to have to sift through who got a black flag for that reason and who may have got one for other reasons, and that may take us a little time here as we're pacing through this caution.
Meanwhile, one driver who has really benefited from that is the 42 of David Wright. Right now, he is scored in 9th place. We saw him go from the lead to getting turned and into trouble in our previous caution. Now this one has come out, so he is looking to make a bounce back.
Yeah, that wreck, I mean, heck, if everybody gets kind of tore up and has to come down pit road, that's 3 spots for you, right? So, I mean, unfortunately, Derek Wright was turned, and there wasn't really much he could do about it. When it came to the wreck before this one, so he's really not gonna think twice about taking these spots here, as he is the beneficiary of a lot of these tore up race cars.
All right, while these guys are under yellow, we're gonna play a few commercials. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back after this.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Talladega Motor Speedway. Thank you very much for joining me and Shawn out here tonight as we try to bring you all of the interesting action that is going on. Well, at least not when they're under yellow. It's been quite a intense race here tonight, Shawn. We've seen some green flag runs get close to a end of a fuel run, but so far we haven't seen any green flag pit stops tonight.
Yeah, these guys have really been aggressive. Like I said, some no-holds-bar style racing. They're really, when they're out front, they're really trying to stay there. And that leaves a lot of guys that are trying to work their way up through the pack that might, lose a little patience because there's really nowhere to go at that point. You saw Alex Green try and go to the fence and run 3 wide a couple times, and he's had some help, some other guys that want to go with him at different times and points throughout the race. So it really just orchestrates the scenario where you got some guys who are being a little more aggressive than the track and the racing's going to provide, and then you get a little bit of wrecks. So we haven't really got a chance to get green flag stops in, but I'd anticipate that it's not really going to slow down any much as these laps start to wind down.
All right, the 26 of Jordan Wright, the 44 of Lucas Cram. Those guys still your front row here, despite several cars coming down pit road. These guys have managed to hold, serve, and be out front. The 7 of Josh Milam, the 15 of Alex Green are going to make up row number 2 for this restart. And the pace car is peeled off. We're getting ready to get going. You know what? Why don't you call it again, Shawn?
These guys have swapped rows. 26 on the inside this time, Lucas Cram on the outside. Look at, once again, a nice slow pace down through the infield. Or down through the trioval, rather. Green flag is out. The 26 hits the loud pedal. Lucas Cram on the loud pedal. He hit it really nicely, timed it up very well. He's going to have a nose out as they cross the stripe. Alex Green looking to get to the backside of the 44 before the 7 can get to the 26. Both guys got some good push as they come down through the center of the corners. It'll be interesting to see who's got the run as they come out of 2.
The 26 of Jordan Wright. He is out front right now, but the 44 of Lucas Cram charging back along that high side. with the help from one of the drivers who you like, the 15 of Alex Green.
He's definitely been very exciting to watch tonight. The 7 has been very exciting there. Also in that FSR Ford Mustang, he really just did not let off the bumper of the 26 there at all, and that right there is potentially why he's going to push him to the lead as they come through the trioval here.
All right, guys, we haven't done it yet tonight. Let's do a little bit of crank it up and let you guys enjoy watching these cars rip it around here at Talladega. Oh man, a big time trouble here into turn number 3. We got cars all over the place. What did you see happen there, Shawn?
Yeah, it looked to me like Lucas Cram and Alex Green were really working together well, except a little bit too well there. Alex kind of gave a nudge to the 44 and corner entry, and the 44 was just kind of unset a little bit. Another one of those left rear kind of push type deals where it turned the 44 sideways. Unfortunately, it turned across traffic, and a lot of people came out unfortunate on that one.
All right, we are in replay. We see the 15 hook the 44. The 44 gets up into the high side, wipes out the high side. Everyone starts scrambling, trying to find somewhere to go, and unable to get through it for quite a few of these cars.
KR, somebody who has really been quite unscathed, at least been quiet on the day as far as I've been able to see. The 17th Christian Walker, he unfortunately was involved in that one this time. Another guy who was running really well, that number 7 is Joshua Milam. He was running really well, trying to push that 26 back out to the lead. And unfortunately, cars came down across his nose. He was involved, came up across Alex Green. Alex Green was involved again in another one. The 24 really tried to power down and get through there, but unfortunately Larson was involved in that one as well. He's been involved in a couple, so I'm not really sure he'll be able to fix that damage as well as he'd like to. And not from there, some more cars involved as well.
Very unfortunate accident here for a lot of good cars. As right now we're watching for the final time the 24 John Larson to go into the corner. Larson gets slammed by the 7 of Josh Milam, but he is able to continue on. He has been on and off pit road here. A lot of cars hit pit road, but Scott Bellum and the 07 stayed out along with R. Chase Berry. These guys have not pitted.
Yeah, Karen, I'm working my way down pit road. A lot of really heavy damaged cars that were really big contenders, the likes of the 91, of Ernie Williams Jr., another guy, Alex Green, in the 15, the 7 of Josh Milam. Even the 29, a lot of these guys obviously are sitting here fixing damage for a little while. That tells me they don't have any fast repairs left, and unfortunately that's going to be a very big disadvantage for them as we continue through the end of this race.
Robert Payne on pit road in that 3 machine now. He's pulling away. 7 has been sitting there for quite a while. So like you said, he's possibly out of fast repairs or forgot to have it clicked. Any one of those two things could happen. But we do know that 7 has had to use at least one, and now possibly 2. Well, I guess now he hasn't used 2.
And if you look closely, Josh Milam, his iRacing driver's not even in that car. So Josh Milam has climbed from that 7 machine while his crew is fixing it, and while he may come back to finish some laps and try and get some points back, currently that car is being worked on, and he is not behind the wheel.
It's a little bit of an unfortunate situation for that 7 machine. Our points leader, Josh Milam, coming into tonight as the points leader, but crashing out here, very detrimental to that situation.
Another guy involved in that wreck, Alex Green, is pulled up behind the wall. He's done for the evening, and he is getting ready to take off and leave Talladega. Very disappointing.
So Alex Green pushing that thing behind the wall. That driver not too happy. We'll see if we can't get a word in with him after maybe he cools down here. You know, we want to try and talk to as many people as we can. We never want to get them right after they've crashed out, because it tends not to be anything nice.
Yeah, it's probably a safe bet. It'd be nice to let them get over to the intake air center, get checked out, get out, and then maybe interview them afterwards.
You know, someone who we never really get to talk to, I kind of want to do this real quick. Mark Vega, this is KR and Shawn up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir. How's it going, KR and Shawn?
Man, I'll tell you what, it is going great here tonight. Mark, you know, you are not out there on track right now. You are race control. Tell us a little bit about what your job entails out here tonight.
Well, to try and keep everybody in line, not to have any penalties, passing on the yellow, on the start before the start finish, stuff like that. Clear penalties from avoiding wrecks and stuff like that. It's been an exciting race, that's for sure.
It has been an exciting race, but speaking of clearing penalties, how about that crash coming out of turn 4 where a lot of cars went down pit road? How do you guys handle that when they're crashing?
I had to sit back, watch the replay, see which ones were actually going down there speeding and stuff like that. I had a few to clear, that's for sure.
Man,
Now, I got a question for you, Mark. If you get an incident like that where a lot of these drivers are maybe trying to avoid a wreck, maybe they go flying down pit road and unfortunately they speed, but that would maybe have been the smarter decision to get down pit road and you know, not be involved in a wreck. Is that something that you guys look at for clearing black flags?
Yes.
Well, there you have it.
Most definitely, yeah. If they I try to look at them also to see if they slow down some. If they just want to just gun it through there, then I won't clear it.
Right.
All right, Mark. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. You know, it's not every day we get to talk to race control, so thank you very much.
No problem. Anytime, guys. You guys do a good job.
Oh, look at Mark. He's trying to get more airtime.
Thank you, Mark.
No problem.
That was Mark Vega, Race Control, answering some questions that we had about how this is handled when they go ripping down pit road. And he said, hey, as long as they try and let up a little bit, no penalty.
Yeah, as long as they're doing, you know, the best that they can to try and not be involved in incidents and keep the incident count down and what they did is logical, and you know, all's fair.
All's fair. All right. New front runners. 07 Scott Bella and the 24 John Larson. Those guys are out front. I tell you what, right here, right now, that 07 is sneaky.
He snuck up on us. He got out there, had 26 was out there before, and you know, another guy who snuck his way up through here. We kind of talked about it, but he's done it sort of quietly. He was involved in a wreck 2 or 3 wrecks ago where he got turned by a guy pushing him at 42. sitting there in that 4th place outside 2nd row. He has been, David right there, he's been pretty sneaky getting back up here into the top 5, top 4 rather, and he was really making some noise early in the race, and I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to do it. We're counting down these laps. We're getting down towards the end of this thing here, and it's almost go time, in my opinion, so it'd be interesting to see who really turns it up a notch.
That it will be. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to see who is going to be able to hold off the charging field, whether it's the 07 Scott Bell or the 24 John Larson. Pace car field off. This field getting ready to go. Shawn, take it away.
Yeah, this is the first time that Scott Bellum has been able to take the field down to the line, so we're going to see how he does it. Everybody does it a little different as they control themselves. Running pit road speed with no pace cars down through here. With the green flag about to wave, the flagman has got it in his hand. It's out and waving. 24 with a big push from the 42 of David Wright. He gets a massive jump, maybe a tire spin from the 07 of Scott Bellum. As I said, he has not been out there. He doesn't have the experience of controlling the start there. 24 hits the line first. Hopefully that's all good with race control, and he'll jump down to the lead.
Cody Ober in the 8. When the field kind of checked up, that 8 machine is going to be the big time loser on this restart as he went spinning down into the infield. He was down below the yellow line.
Yeah, and now the field's got to contend with the lapper down here on the apron. Hopefully he's able to get out of the way as they get down here into 3. Maybe they got to let him up onto the track when they get to the banking here. But 3 cars get an early jump. They got a car length separation. That's the 24, the 07, and the 19 here. You got some guys organizing in the outside line. There really isn't a whole lot of guys left that are undamaged and unscathed, so it'll be interesting to see with less draft, less turbulent air, who can make stuff happen here.
Across the line, the 24, John Larson, going to lead that lap. We've had some interesting racing in as far as who has led the most laps. Right now, Kelly Milam, I think that's Kelly Milam, and has led 25 laps. Lucas Cram has led 22. Those guys are our biggest lap leaders.
Oh, 3 wide for the lead, KR. Here we go.
The 42 of David Wright, all by himself on the high side. The 07 and the 39 working together. Down on the bottom will be the 24 and the 19. Exalta 24, Taco Bell 19. They're going to be the first ones to the line, but the 07, that white 07, and the 39 of Jacob Sayers, they're going to run in the middle, and David Wright, he's going to drop in and run just in that second group.
That's right, KR. David Wright looks like he's going to regroup, reconcentrate, hopefully get some re-energized momentum from the guys behind him here. He may jump back up there if he feels like he's got some friends and the ability to do so. He may really try and make some noise again. He's obviously proven he's not afraid to do it once. He'll do it twice, and it'll be interesting to see how he can maneuver his way back up to the front here and try and take this lead.
Field coming out at turn number 4. We're seeing the 3 of Robert Payne looking to the outside here. He's got some help from the 14 machine of Cody Eldred. Cody is 2 laps down right now. If he can get this 3 to the front, maybe Cody has a chance of getting one of his laps back the hard way.
Yeah, Karen, looking from overhead on this restart, it was interesting. There was a lot of damaged cars that were mixed and mingled in with some lesser damaged cars, or maybe even undamaged cars, and really strung the field out. But some guys got to get together with other guys they were fast with and really got to suck back up to the field as these guys were racing. And this pack grew just a little bit. It's still pretty spread out, but the lead pack has grown a little bit. We've got some 3 wide action with the 3 all the way up against the wall. Some help with Cody Eldred in that 14, the 51 of Travis Elliott. He's running the middle there, and these guys are all trying to regroup, get some energy, and get to the front.
Travis Elliott, that 51 machine with a little bit of a gap between him. Oh, an engine just popped. We got one in the wall. That is the 39 of Jacob Sayers.
Yeah, he's hanging it up in the wall right there. That's what happens sometimes if you're not able to manage the temp stack rate. These things can't hold on to heavy temperature for long, and unfortunately he found he learned that one the hard way.
Only takes a moment for your eyes to not be paying attention to your temps, and that's when they get out of control, and that is what happened to the 39 machine of Jacob Sayers. That is not going to be a good night for him.
Now KR, unfortunately, Ford's not going to be too happy with him when they got to go tear that motor apart to figure out why it broke. A lot of guys really tried to follow him. They didn't really realize his motor blew. He tried to get out of the way as fast as he could. He did a nice job of getting up and into the wall and out of the way of everybody. Some of it might have been some oil that he ran over. It slid that nose up into the wall. But unfortunately for him, he's out. He hits it pretty hard and rides it all the way down through 1 and 2. So a rough ride for Jacob Sayers. Hopefully he's okay and gets checked out.
Yeah, that 39 machine, unfortunately, unable to carry any speed to get him to pit road. So he's got the long wait for the tow truck to return him to his pit stall. If he's got a fast repair left, he might be able to get back out there, but if not, his night is done.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. He was doing a nice job there trying to push, you know, the guy that he was the leader of the outside pack there, trying to keep him as far out front as possible or keep him competitive against the inside row there of the 24 of John Larson. So, you know, just very unfortunate for him. He was really working well. Another guy to talk about here, Brandon Beckrow. He has pulled his car behind the wall. He is done for the evening. Unfortunately for him, he is disconnected and retired from this race. So we will we'll see Brandon next week.
All right, lots of cars coming down pit road. We're going to see a lot of stops here as we're getting very close. We're about 20 laps away from the end of this race. Some drivers with a caution have the chance to make it to the end of this race from here.
Yeah, the 24 of John Larson, he came in very passively, didn't want to slide the tires. He was going no tires, only fuel, trying to get himself to the end of this thing. He's in and out. He's the winner off the pit road. So John Larson looks to be your potential leader as we get ready to go green again.
That it is. So race off pit road. Everyone getting sorted out. R. Chase Berry staying out in the 11 machine. So he is right now scored as your leader. And we're going to step away and be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Maxspeedtv. Tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by the Ohio IndyCar League, simspeedshop.com, Colby's Eye Paints, Walls Beard Co., iBog, and the Hershey Design Company. Man, oh man, we got 20 laps left here in this race. Shawn, it's been a heck of a ride so far. With as few laps as we got left, do you have an idea of who's going to win this thing yet?
Okay, I really don't think picking somebody is going to give you an ounce of confidence. There's a lot of guys that can get this done, and unfortunately these guys have been caught up in a lot of wrecks. A lot of these guys have really been pushing it hard, no holds barred style racing. I mean, they are hanging it all out there and going for it as hard as you possibly can, and unfortunately that's led to some carnage and some torn up race cars. And I mean, you could pick anybody out there and they could be torn up in 2 laps. So, but if I had to pick somebody, I think I would have to, you know, from where they're at and the guys that have been consistently up front so far, I don't think that you could go wrong with picking a guy like maybe John Larson. He's used up a faster pair or two. He's on his last leg here, but he's been competitive and up front all race long, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him win this thing.
Well, John Larson in that 24 machine is a solid pick, as we see the 14 of Cody Eldred get a lap back by the wave around, so he has not made a pit stop. He's going to need a quick caution to take advantage of this. I'm not sure he can make it the rest of the way here, but man, he's got to try and do something. So that 14 machine, he is now the first and only car 1 lap down out there. He is scored in 20th place as he tries to get back into line with the rest of the field. John Larson out front, the 24 Exalta machine on the inside. On the outside is that 26 of Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright kind of been one of these late race people who's been consistently out front.
That's right, KR, and he's another one that you really just can't count out, and you really have to wonder, could he get it done in this race today? There's not many laps left, and a lot of these guys that are up front are really got the track position. You've seen a lot of these guys that were too wide, 2x2x2x2. There's not really much to go unless you hang it out against the fence, and you got to have friends to go with you to do that. We're getting down to the end of it. Some people may get a little bit less patient, and they may do it.
All right, the 24 and the 26 make up row number 1. That blue with white stickering of Glenn Bundren in the 37 machine. He's on the inside of row number 2. And then the white and purple Taco Bell machine, he is outside row number 2 for this restart. Pace car starting to look like it's gonna make the hard left onto pit road, and there it goes. It's lackadaisical and it's way to pit road. John Larson, though, in that 24 machine, he can't be as lazy as the pace car. He is in a Chevy, though. That pace car was a Ford, so we don't expect a whole lot from it. John Larson in the 24, getting ready for the green flag. Gonna drop the hammer, and there we go. Green flag is flying. Everyone trying to get as much power down as they can. Get through the gears. You cannot miss a shift right here as we got 18 laps to go. Some of these guys may have made their final pit stop for the night, as the 24 machine has got the 37 all over his back bumper.
Yeah, KR, this is huge. This is when you really want to line up with the right people. This is when you want to try and orchestrate the right moves, set yourself up for these last laps. We're under 20 laps to go now. Really, you're going to have a hard time. These guys are going to be 2x2x2 all the way to the finish unless we have some carnage, which we have right there. A car to the inside. He's going to slide up in front of more.
Kelly Milam in the 46 going over, spinning like a top on his top. Finally lands on all 4 tires. That thing is smoking, but he grabs a gear, lights the fire, and gets back after it. Man, oh man, we're back under yellow here, and we're going to have to go to a replay just to catch everything that happened there.
Yeah, KR, and I have to say, if there's one competitor that's one of the toughest out here today, it's probably Kelly Milam. I mean, he's been on his lid more often than not, and unfortunately for him, that's going to make it a rough finish to this thing, but he just has no quit and keeps on going.
We backed this one up just a little too far, so we're going to have to play this out a little bit. Kelly Milam in the 46. We see the 37 of Glenn Bundren down below the 24 machine of John Larson. Down the back straight they go. Everyone really trying to get as much as they can here on this restart. Building some speed still down the backstretch into turn number 3. We see the 26 come crashing down. Jordan Wright getting hooked right in front of everyone. Heavy damage on that 26 machine.
Okay,
Go on
for some of these
board
guys,
with Ernie Williams.
some of these guys, this was their last leg, their last fast repair, maybe their last attempt at trying to be competitive in this thing. Some of these guys are really sitting on pit road. This is going to shrink that lead pack even more.
A lot of drivers burning up all their fast repairs. Ernie Williams, one of those guys who's like, man, I ain't got any fast repair left. I am just going to stop. He came all but to a stop and let the crash happen. And once it all settled out, he got back into the throttle and drove away.
Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do.
All right, so several drivers have been on and off pit road. Right now, the 17 machine of Trishan Walker scored as our race leader. All right, let's see here. Who should we talk to now? We've talked to a couple drivers. We talked to race control. You know what? Who we haven't talked to, I don't think he's here anymore. Let's see. Shawn, you got anyone you want to talk to?
Okay, I'm looking down through and trying to figure out who we got frequencies for, and he's on these radios. We've talked to Kelly. It'd be cool to maybe talk to him and see if his head's bobbling, if he sees duckies still, but we've talked to him earlier today. I'd have to say maybe, Jordan Wright might be a cool person to talk to if we haven't already. He's been doing a nice job up front.
Jordan Wright, this is KR and Shawn up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Yeah, how are you doing, KR?
I'm not doing too bad. Shawn wanted to talk to you for a moment. So, Shawn?
Yeah, Jordan, we've seen you up front for the course of today quite a bit, and obviously we see you back in 15th right now. What's it going to take for you to get back up through here? You got a strong car. You've been very competitive all night. What do you think it's going to take for you?
I'm just going to bide my time right here, pick a lane that's moving forward, and just set in it. Let it take me to the front clean.
Now, have you found that you've been up front, so maybe you haven't really noticed, but have you found that working up through the field so far today that sometimes both lines kind of get stalled out as the leaders are kind of battling back and forth, and maybe you got to take it to the wall to make moves?
Yeah, but you got to watch that you got enough cars behind you to make that third line work. Otherwise, when you get up to them, it about stalls your car out and you can't make that third line work.
Gotcha. Now, is there anybody, while we still got you here, we got everybody's attention, anybody that you'd like to thank, anybody you'd like to give some credit to in that 26 car? It's been fast, so somebody's got to make it go around for you.
Yeah, I really appreciate DJ spotting and crew chiefing me, and Lucas helping me out as my teammate.
Alrighty, well, good luck, bud. Let's see you work your way back up to the field and try and keep her clean out there.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a nice day. Thanks for broadcasting.
You got it. That right there was Jordan Wright, folks, and he'll be attempting his charge back up to the field. He was up front for the majority of the day today, and he'll be looking to get back up there. He doesn't have a lot of time to get there, though.
Now the laps are winding down. We got 15 laps to go. And some heavy hitters in this race. Burned up all their fast repairs. And now they're caught up in this most recent caution. We have had 8 cautions out here tonight for a total of 20 laps. We got 15 laps to go, 33 lead changes. So when the green flag is out, it's been very intense out here. Hard to kind of catch your breath. Actually, you know, you need these yellows to catch your breath after everything we've been seeing going on out here.
Yeah, KR, you're not kidding. It's been wild. It's been real hectic at times. It's been real violent. So hopefully these guys can try and keep the violence down a little bit, but keep the action going, and we can see a wild finish.
I think we will see a wild restart here. It's the 17 machine. Tristan Walker, he's got some heavy damage on the front end of that thing, but he is out front. Now, I don't know how well he will be out front, but that kind of damage that he has out there could very well affect his aerodynamics when he's out front. He might be a good car to have push you, but that 42 of David Wright going to line up behind him can be really kind of difficult to see how fast that 17 is going to be.
Yeah, KR, this is true. The 17's got some damage, and that's going to hurt him. He's going to really hurt his straightaway speed, especially. But, and being that the damage is on the nose, that's going to be even worse. If he had some damage on the rear with a car pushing him, pulling that air off the spoiler and off the rear end of that car, maybe wouldn't be so bad. But he's not the only one. The 24's out there has got a little bit of damage. Heck, the 42's got a little bit of damage. I mean, everybody out there's kind of run out of fast repairs. The 3 that's up there in the form of Robert Payne, he's also got some damage. So there really isn't too many cars aside from maybe the 07 back here, maybe the 29. Those guys maybe have a big advantage. They're close to the front of the pack with light damage, so maybe they'll be able to make some hay when the sun's shining here. But as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of cars out here with a bit of damage, and so it'll be fun just to watch who can persevere and who can overcome it.
Right now, the 17 and the 24 will restart on your front row. The 42 and the 3 will make the second row happen. We see the 3 is looking for a teammate. His teammate is just 1 row behind, or a row and a half, in that 8 machine. The 3 and the 8, if these two can get hooked up, they might be able to make their way to the front. But for right now, pace car peeling off down on the pit road. Tristan Walker in the 17. He's got to get a good jump here, but he can't do it too much in that he holds a huge gap, because once he gets that big gap, that 42 is going to come charging right by with some help from the 07 of Scott Bell.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. Here we go.
Absolutely right, KR. Big push from the 42. David Wright. He's going to give that 17 a real big push down into 1. Tristan Walker's got a big advantage over the 24. A lot of damage on the nose of that 24, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's hurting Larson here.
So the 24 with damage, the 17 with damage. So both front runners in the high and low lines with damage. But here comes the 3 of Robert Payne on the high side.
Don't look now with all that discombobulation in the outside 2 lines. Here comes the 07 down the inside. If he can just get clear, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls up, finds some help, and gets pushed out to the front. That car is damage free, and he is looking to win.
Scott Bellum in the 07 looking for his first win on the season. The 3 of Robert Payne has got a lot of help behind him on the high side. The middle lane has dissolved. The 24 and the 84 are the only 2 cars in that middle lane right now, and they are starting to lose some ground.
Here comes that 03 Robert Payne, though. He had a little bit of a run there. The 07 just kind of looks like he's just lurking in the weeds. He knows he's got a car capable of doing it. I'm not sure if he knows that both these cars in front of him have damage. Here he comes. He's got some help from another undamaged car and that number 8 behind him.
Down the backstretch they go. These guys really getting after it. Here, when it becomes crunch time with 12 laps to go, down into turn number 3, through turns 3 and 4, and onto the front stretch. This is getting intense.
This is getting wild. This race has been action-packed, so you gotta wonder. 4 laps of caution. You're not going to have a whole lot of time, potentially, if they get another yellow or 2 to make moves. This is the time to do it. The 07 making his move to the front. He's got to push from the 8 behind him. He's looking to make his way out front, undamaged and unscathed. He's got the car with the advantage. The 42 pushing that 17. He's doing a great job with some nose damage. But like I said, if you get a yellow here, you got at least 4 laps of caution flag. You really count down a lot more laps. You lose the ability to make some moves. So right now is the time to go, and these guys know it.
Scott Bellum in the 07 going to dive down to the inside line there. That will put him as the race leader, but the 8 machine of Cody Ober, he's going to be the first car in that high line. Cody Ober, part of the GOP Racing DEI wannabes. That machine, first car in the high side. He's got some help from the 24, though, of John Larson, but now they're starting to go 3 wide into turn number 1.
Yeah, and to be honest, KR, this is great for John Larson in that 24. He originally was punching the nose with all the damage on the front of that car, which created a lot of extra drag for him and the guys behind him. But now he's sucked up behind that 8 car and he's pushing them. That takes a lot of air off of that damaged part of the race car. The rest of his car is pretty well unscathed. So he looks to be partially competitive again. He's pushing that 8 car and he's right up with him. So this is actually not a bad idea for the 24 to kind of fall in line. A little contact with the 42 with David Wright. All is well. They keep on going.
You know, the same could be said for the 17 of Tristan Walker, as he does have that damage on his nose as well. But here they come through the tri-oval. And
That's
across the
right.
line for another lap. Man, oh man, these guys running door to door, bumper to bumper. Only a matter of time before I think we see a huge pile up, because these guys really starting to bring out their claws and just fight each other to the death.
While it may be inevitable, KR, I'm hoping it's not, because the racing we're seeing is fantastic. 3 wide to the outside up against the fence is the 51 up there of Travis Elliott. He's looking to make some moves all on his lonesome up there in that Ford Mustang. The 8 looking to get a big push from the 24 and another big push from the 17 of Tristan given to that number 07.
The high side starting to come in. The 51 has some help from the 84. Now the 84 is going to abandon him. So Lynn McNeese abandoning the 51 of Travis Elliott. We're still seeing these guys running side by side. Whoa, my goodness, as they went into turn number 1, that got close.
Yes, it did. The 24 was out of shape with that push that he got from the number 3 of Robert Payne behind him, and he held on to it. He was squirrely and loose. Robert let off him just a hair. They made it all the way through the corner, and they're back after it.
Down this Talladega back stretch. Hold on to your hats, as that track camera could have blown it off if you didn't have it. That 3 of Robert Payne, big wiggle through the middle of the corner, but he gets it sorted. And now the 24 and the 8 all working together. Now we're going to throw in a slow lap car in the middle of this, as the 12 machine is going to stay high. And Robert Cody Ober going around into the outside wall. The caution is coming out with 7 laps to go. That 8 machine, heavy damage.
Yes, he did. Wow.
We're going to back this up a little bit. Go to our Maxspeedtv replay.
Looked sort of like maybe a bumper grab, maybe a little net code issue there, but unfortunately that's another hook off the front bumper of the 24 of John Larson today, who really was just trying to help him. And it's getting late. It's time to go. It's time to push. Unfortunately, the beneficiary of some negative big impact and big damage was the number 8 of Cody Ober.
We saw the 62 of Les Levy get a little piece of that off of his nose. We go on board with Les. Les just really had no good decision making there. Like, any decision was the wrong one.
It just happened so fast on it.
It did. It happened so fast. The 8 was spinning so crazily. Les was like, I don't know what to do. He got on the brakes. He did the only thing he could. And unfortunately, here come the 8 right in front of him.
Yes, sir. So while things were getting wild, just like that, they get slowed down, and we'll wind them all up again in just a few short laps.
So the 07 of Scott Bellum out front. We're going to have 6 laps to go now. A few laps of caution, and then we're going to get back after it for about a 1 or 2 lap shootout.
And these guys have not they've not held anything back all day. I mean, there's not been a point where they've ridden around for the most part, the majority of these guys. There's not been a point where, you know, they've just tried to settle in. And some, you know, some guys have worked with teammates, and maybe you can consider that settling in. But for the most part, the majority of this racing has been just that, racing and battling for the lead, trying to stay in front of these wrecks. And it, at times it's been really wild, very physical, very violent, and at other times we've seen some just excellent racing. And I don't anticipate anything different. In fact, I anticipate it to just amp up even more in these last few laps.
Gonna be a very, what would you say? Well, I don't know how you would describe these last 2 laps. Undecided.
Very unpredictable.
Unpredictable, that'd be a good word.
There's just so many things you can lay out on the table for this. This race has been just absolutely incredible.
Lights are still on the pace car. We're gonna have a bit of a time before we go racing. Let's see if we can't pull up another driver who we haven't talked to all night. See if we can't get a quick word in with the 07 of Scott Bellum. Scott, you got your ears on, bud?
Yeah, I do.
How you doing out there tonight, Scott?
Trying to stay patient, trying to stay up front now.
That 07 machine looking very clean. Have you used a fast repair, or have you been one of those drivers who just kind of has lucked his way through everything tonight?
Believe it or not, I used 2 fast repairs in the first 35 laps.
So the first 35 laps were where you ended up on pit road, but the next, I don't know how many laps we've done since then, that car's looking very straight, so you obviously figured something out.
Yeah, after I used that second fast repair, you know, stayed pretty clean, missed a couple of the last couple incidents, and like I said, keeping it nice and clean.
Well, man, that car looks great. We're going to have a few lap shootout here, about 2 laps once the green flag flies again. What are you going to be able to do to hold off this field?
Luckily, right now I'm looking in my rear view, and I see the second and third place cars have some front end damage, so I think I have a little bit better aero than them. Hopefully I can stay in front of them.
We saw you take advantage of those cars being damaged, made a bold move here to get you into the lead. Was that something you had planned, or just presented itself and you jumped on it when you could?
I didn't really have it planned. I saw Cody was going to the outside, so I hopped in front of him, and he gave me a pretty good push down the backstretch.
Well, you know what, man? Final 5 laps to go. What's going through your mind and how you're planning to handle this shootout?
Honestly, just hold my line and hope I don't get turned.
You know what? Here at Talladega, that's not a bad strategy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have a pretty clean car right now, so hopefully I have just enough speed to keep in front of them so nobody can make a dive bomb on me or spin me.
All right, Scott. Well, before we let you go, do you have any other shout-outs and sponsors, people you'd like to thank?
Just Parabellum Engineering Services, P-Talk Powder Coating, Mainville Garage, for helping me out with this stuff.
All right, Scott, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. And this shootout is going to be intense. So hopefully you pull those belts tight a little bit, because it's going to be crazy.
All right, thank you very much.
That is a 07 machine, Scott Bellum, giving us a moment of his time. So thank you very much for that. Shawn, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see this thing get over.
Yeah, it's we don't have much left, and we got to crown a winner in this thing.
We got to crown a winner. It's been a hell of a race so far tonight. We still have the lights on the pace cars, so while these guys cycle around once again, we're going to step away, take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Maxspeedtv, as we are here at Talladega for what's shaping up to be a 2-lap shootout to the finish. In the booth with me is the one, the only, Shawn Cool, driver who has turned in his steering wheel for a microphone for tonight. So, Shawn, as a driver, what is going through your mind here for this 2-lap shootout?
Well, I guess it depends on where you are. If I'm sitting in the 07 car right now, I'm trying to think about who I think will push me to this win, what I need to do, stay out front. The only thing I'm thinking about right now is stay out front, because you never know when that yellow is going to fly, and in this case in iRacing, when it flies, the race is over. If I'm in the 24, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm trying to get that push. I'm mirror driving all the way around this racetrack, trying to make sure that I keep the guys I need to behind me and get the pushes that I need. If I'm the guy in the 3 or the 17, even the 42 or the 37, I'm looking at maybe who's going to get that push that maybe I can get a big push of momentum and jump to the outside and try and get a big run before getting blocked and get out there and try and take this win, steal it away from the guys up front. So I guess it really just depends on where you're at. You're going to see a lot of mirror driving out of John Larson in the 24. You're going to see a lot of mirror driving out of that Ford Mustang number 07, and some really aggressive moves from the guys behind him. Pace car's off.
Pace car has peeled off. Scott Bellum in the 07 in control of this field. He's got the 17 behind him. The 17 has nose damage. The 24, first car on the outside, he's got nose damage. So Scott Bellum looks to be sitting pretty.
Green flag.
He's got damaged cars all around him. Here we go. Green flag is out. The 3 of Robert Payne trying to get to the back bumper of the 24. The 17 trying to get to the back bumper of the 07. We have 2 laps to go here at Talladega. 94 laps was our scheduled distance. The 17 moving to the high side. The 24 gets turned.
Oh, that's going to probably bring out a yellow. It's going to be a
They
race
are
with
all
yellow
spinning
right here.
down to the infield. No yellow.
The
Travis
17,
Elliott in the
big run to
51
the
involved.
inside. Here comes the 37 to the outside. It's 3 wide for the lead. If we get a yellow, this
The
is
yellow
it.
flag is
there
out.
it is. The 17 nose to the front.
The 17 with a nose out front because the yellow came out. We're going to have to back this up and just check this. Oh my goodness, if the 17 was able to do it, we were busy watching the crashing happen. Gonna check and see how the 17 managed to get there. As we go on board, he's just got a great run getting past the 07 here. Down into turn number 3. And about here's where the caution came out. So that 17 just had a great run.
I have to say, KR, if you have a move of the race, it definitely goes to Tristan Walker in that 17 with his move to the inside down the backstretch. He forced the ability to get to the inside. He didn't allow the 07 to block him, and he kept that momentum rolling, kept wide open in the throttle, and even with all that damage, persevered. Raced to the yellow flag flew, and the 17 is going to win this race.
Watching what brought out the yellow, we're seeing cars go scattering everywhere. The 28 of Derek Conley getting a piece of it. The 51 involved. Several cars getting turned here down the backstretch. But the 17 going to be your race winners. We're on the final lap. Final time coming out of turn number 4. This is going to finish under yellow. Going to the 17. Scott Bellum in the 07. Got to be disappointed as he came to the line for the green flag restart as your race winner. But Tristan Walker in the 17 machine running a Tide Pods orange and blue and yellow. Got to be ecstatic. Wins the race. Car doesn't blow up right before the start finish line. He's going to get it done.
And he's going to pull off fairly quick here, maybe get it turned around. I'm sure he's super excited. That's not a car that I would have expected to see win. If anyone would have showed me that car without showing me the race and said that's the car that's going to win today at Talladega, I'd have said you're crazy. But a fantastic job by Tristan Walker in getting the job done.
All right, so we're going to step away, set up our post-race show. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Maxspeedtv post-race show, as we have the 17 machine of Tristan Walker. Shawn Cool's caught up with him.
Yeah, KR, I'm down here soaking wet. The Gatorade and drinks are flying. The champagne's a spraying. I'm down here with Tristan Walker, who has just won this race at Talladega with a beat-up car nonetheless. Tristan, how in the heck did you make that happen?
I saw the cars wrecking out of turn 2. The caution was not thrown, so I went up the high side to fake out Scott and crossed him over there. Did everything I could to get by him. Just want to thank my teammates, Travis and Chase and Jacob. He's out, but it feels good to win.
Yeah, and I told KR when I was up in the booth, I told him, I said if there was a move of the race, it was that one down the backstretch, that fake out, run to the inside and keep that momentum going, hang your foot in it, keep it wide open. That was wild. What what did you think the whole time with the damage that you had a shot to win this thing, or were you just trying to survive and it just happened to play out in your favor?
With about lap 50, I ran out of fast repairs, so I've been taking care of this one car since then. About then, I didn't think I had anything for him up here, but I had a teammate check out the car, and he told me I need to be a pusher, so tried to work that out, got myself clear on turn 2, and got the win.
Well, Tristan, that never give up, never quit type attitude was pretty inspiring, and what a wild finish you were able to put on, a show you were able to give to the fans. And I know you thank your teammates and everybody for helping you get this win, but if there's anybody else left out there to thank or maybe give a shout out to, this is your time.
I want to thank Alex. I want to thank Mark for being race control, Cody, Robert, and all the fans watching there on Maxspeedtv. Thank you guys for broadcasting. I appreciate it, and I'm going to go celebrate this win.
Okay, I think I'm going to party down here with Tristan for a minute. I think you've got caught up with Scott Bellum, so I'll turn it over to you, KR.
I have caught up with Scott Bellum. Scott was our second place finisher out here tonight. However, he was our restart leader for that final shootout. Scott, great positioning for the restart, but that yellow just came out at the wrong time for you.
Yeah, I saw the car spinning in my rear view. Tristan did a heck of a job crossing me over, and that was just a hell of a move on his end.
Well, Scott, coming up second here tonight in what became a battle of attrition, still got to feel like an accomplishment, especially with you leading 13 laps.
Yeah, I'll take anything I can get on this pavement stuff. I'm typically a dirt track guy, but this is my first time running some pavement stuff, and it's turned out to be a lot of fun.
Well, man, great job out there tonight. You can't get there by yourself. Second place is an accomplishment in a race like this. Who was really working with you out there the best tonight?
To be honest with you, I was kind of like a nomad. I was all on my own, just doing my own thing. I didn't really team up or partner with anybody. I'm not a part of a team. So it was just like surviving to get up through.
Well, you did. Great job out here tonight. You ended up second. Any final thank yous that you'd like to give out?
Yeah, I'd just like to give a shout out to everybody that runs this league. Alex, Cody, Mark for the race control, and them putting this on every week. It's a lot of fun. And also Parabellum Engineering Services, P-Talk Powder Coating, and Mainville Garage.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for the great racing and sticking around to give us the interview. Scott Bellum, your second place finisher. Congratulations, man.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. That is going to wrap it up for us here tonight. Shawn, before we get into our final results, what are your final thoughts of this race?
Well, as expected, that was nonetheless a very physical and violent ending to this race, but a very exciting one nonetheless. And Obviously, as Tristan said, he saw the cars wrecking behind him. He knew he had to make the move right then and there. He raced to the yellow. He beat it to the, beat the yellow in terms of getting out in front of everybody before it flew, and got himself the win. So I mean, it can't get any more exciting really than that. We've seen time and time again when these guys are running and giving it all they got, coming to the line. And sometimes those guys, in the back might get caught up and pile it down across the line, and then you got guys out front who are racing for the finish. So can't really ask for much more than that.
Sure can't. Heck of a night tonight. But before we can send this broadcast off into the interwebs as complete, we got to go through our results. Your race winner was Tristan Walker. In second place was Scott Bellum. Glenn Bundren ended up third. Lynn McNeese was fourth. And fifth place was Robert Payne. Lucas Cram ending up in sixth. Cody Ober will be seventh. Les Levy in eighth. Ninth place was Cody Eldred, who managed to get back on the lead lap after being 2 laps down. Aspen Belvin will round out your top 10. In 11th place was the 24 machine of John Larson. Joshua Durham was 12th. 13th place was Ernie Williams. 14th, Travis Elliott. And 15th was Greg Adams.
Coming from 16th, Jordan Wright in that 26 car. He was fast all night, had to overcome some adversity, brings her back 16th. 17th, the 42 of David Wright. He tore up a little bit of equipment. He made some noise as well. Our Chase Berry finishes in that 18th spot. Derek Conley finishes 19th, and Kelly Milam finishes, who was a 2-time stage winner, 1 stage 1 and 2 today. He rounds out your top 20. 21st tonight was Jacob Sayers. 22nd was Brandon Beckrow, and 23rd, the 15 of Alex Green, who exited out of his car early. Joshua Milam also exited early. He'll finish 24th. Douglas Rice will round out the top 25. And the last 3 on the board, 26th, Isaiah Dupree, Mark Vega, and Steve Thomas.
Steve Thomas was a did not start. Mark Vega, who we got to talk to, was our race control. We appreciate his efforts behind the keyboard here tonight. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, Shawn Cool is going to be behind the wheel as he tackles Racing for a Cause. And they will be at, where are we at tomorrow?
We're at New Hampshire following that Xfinity Series schedule tomorrow night. We'll be up in the New England area. We'll all be chasing that lobster.
All right, man. I look forward to calling your race. Maybe we'll talk to you in Victory Circle. But until then, guys, have a good night, and thank you very much for joining me.